Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the post-apocalyptic build. I've mainly been doing development, and the development has been on these. These are front and rear suspension for my car. I wanted it raised, so it looks like it's up in the air. So this axle and pumpkin, or differential here, and calipers and the brakes, and this whole setup up here. Same on the back, minus the actual steering setup. I took out of I think a Suburban kit that Miguel sent me. But these shocks are Miguel's shocks. These are the ones that are on the site. These leaf springs and the leaf spring mounts are mine. So you see the front end, I just got a couple of leaves, and these are mounting pins to go in these holes on either side here where they would mount anyways, kind of a thing. Actually, the shocks would kind of come up. Yeah, but they're going to go down. The rear end I beefed up. I put 4 shocks on it, and I put little riser bars back here to lift it a little bit more. There's big old mounts up here. So, still need to paint them and then distress them. But they are there. And I think that's about all I've done since you saw it last. So, I'm going to get to work. I still have to work on my engine. I still have to get my pipes done. I haven't done those. So I'm going to get to work painting up these pipes, or finish painting these pipes, and painting up these guys. So I will be back when that is all settled. Alright, so we got some more work done here. The engine is just sitting here. I just wanted to see where exactly it was going to mount. That is where it's going to mount. The engine, I lost my distributor. It was a very small piece. I lost it. So I'm reprinting it right now. And I'm going to get that painted and all wired up. Got nice little holes on the side of the Chevy big block for the spark plug wires. So we're going to get that wired up. We got to get the ignition here wired up too. And mount that somewhere in there, but that'll be after we get the engine in. But once I get the wires in, I can officially mount my pipes. So get the wires in, mount the pipes on there. Then the engine will be ready to mount into the chassis. But as you can see, I have the chassis up on its shocks and struts and its springs and everything. So that's how it stands. I did a little weathering, caked a little mud on there. I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to wait though till I get the transfer case and the drive shafts in place. And that's all going to wait until I get the engine. So that's why I'm printing out the distributor. But I did get these weathered up a little bit, get them mounted. They look pretty good. I painted the shocks, or at least the springs, different colors, because you didn't find pairs of the same kind, so you had to scavenge. So all the shocks are kind of either red or yellow, at least the springs are. But that's now sitting. You can see that little rake we got going there. This is an old model of the transfer case and the drive shafts. I've got another one. I basically disassembled everything so I could kind of reposition it as need be, and I will be needing to mess with it because, as you can see, this is not going to work here. So yeah, I lengthened these and this thing too, and I added a correct attachment point for the engine because this is way too big on this one. So I gotta print some of those out. I got the radiator installed, and this thing, the gas tank here, and I had a little bit of gas going down the side. You can see there some streaks. He was in a hurry. I'm also gonna add some bullet holes in here a little bit later. But I got the radiator installed. I have to repaint it. The problem was I had to take it back out because it wouldn't, the big block would not, at least this serpentine belt wouldn't fit in there with the radiator as is. So I had to chop some of the radiator off. I had to chop there's two side mounts, reinforcement mounts on either side of the shroud here. So they're gone because it won't fit otherwise. But it's in there now. And this thing is really back heavy with this big old can of gas, big old gas tank here. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I'm kind of stuck a little bit. Well, no, I got one more thing to show off. I went ahead and I opened the grill. I took a pin vise and it's got a wash in there. That's why some of them were blocked up. But yeah, I opened up the grills. That'd be a little bit of cool there. Oh yeah, I also scraped, well, filed mounting points for my my push bar. So that'll go in like that. But yeah, I think this looks pretty cool with the, see if I can get it in here. There we go. So this will look pretty cool with the grill, with an actual grill. Yeah. So I think that's everything. So I'm gonna get back to waiting for this thing to print. I'll be back when I've got more done. See you in a second, guys. Alright guys, I got some work done here on the front end. I got the push bar in, and I put a little bit of a dent in the front of the push bar. I haven't detailed it fully yet. I got the glass in there, the headlight glass. I cracked those up. I just kind of cut them with a nipper to give them cracks. That one I took out quite a bit from on the driver's side here. So I think outside of distressing, we are done with the front end. I just have to get back in there and put some mud and rust and dirt in there. Otherwise, I think that's pretty good. I got some work done on the body. I also have these printed out. These are my transfer case. Really small, hard to show off, but that is the transfer case there with the drive shaft that goes into the transmission. And then I have these two other drive shafts down here that go into the front pumpkin and the rear pumpkin. I have to paint those today. I got the body. I got a lot of distressing done. There's a bunch of dust in there. Radiator. Got some dust in the front. Cut out this turn signal. When he put the new fender on, he wouldn't have bothered to put the turn signal on or installed it, because why? And he painted over the other ones. So got some bullet holes in here. Tore up this this quarter panel here at the bottom. Someone went after it with some buckshot, tore it up pretty good. And some other just bullet holes in here, and dusted the crap out of the engine compartment. I might bring this down a little bit. I'm not sure. Not sure yet. So that is that. I got the hood somewhere around here. I'll bring in the hood in a second here. Be right back. Alright, I found the hood. Just cut it out like you would have just cut it out with a torch. And then just sits in place. There's a little bit of a warp in the hood, which I don't mind. I'm not going to bother fixing it because of the nature of the build. Wouldn't take too much, but don't need to. So there's our big old hood. Gonna get working on the frame today. Get the tires on, get the engine in. Hopefully I'll get that done today. So I'll be back with that. Alright guys, we have a rolling chassis. Well, not a rolling chassis. Tires don't roll. But we have a chassis here. Got the engine mounted. Got the tires and wheels mounted. The underside looks like, still haven't painted the transfer case or anything like that, but did distress it. Mudded the crap out of the underside. Distressed the engine. Put some carbon scoring on those pipes, on the curves and on the top of those pipes, and on the intakes there. So that is pretty much done. Let me get the body on here and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, that's what she looks like with the body and the hood on. I love those pipes coming out of the hood. That just looks mean. Really mean. I'm loving that. And the little angle there. Now you can really see the warp in the hood. Where's that front end? Oh, here it is. Put that on there. Like so. Something like that. It's not going to stay. We can wait for later. But yeah, that's what she looks like up on her wheels. I really like how this turned out. Couple of conceits with the rear axle. You'd never do that with the rear axle. You would never want that much rear axle just hanging out there. You want the leaves to be pretty close to this right here. So that's a conceit. That would snap like a twig. So I'm just going to call that a conceit just because of the nature of the build. I could pull in these tires a little bit, but we're just gonna leave it. I kind of like how it looks, anyways. So logic is gonna give way to artistic license this time. So yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Really close to the end here, guys. I got the louvers to put in here. Got something to put in here. I'm not sure what. I was gonna do the glass, the kit glass, and where is it? I did work on it. I don't know what I did with it, though. I thought I threw it back in the box, but I might have just tossed it. I was so distressed by the distressing. Yeah, it didn't look too good. It looked like crap, so I tossed it. I'm guessing. It's probably in there. So I'm going to think up something else for the... or maybe nothing. We'll just leave it open. And just put the louvers in the back. I kind of like how that looks. I don't know. Doing it. Anyways, gonna get back to work, and I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, we are done with the construction on this little buggy here. A few more things I added. I added the front end on here. I added the push bar here. It's a little bit wonky, but that's okay because it's been knocked around, so it should be a little wonky. All the underneath, that's all done. Got the transfer case, got the drivetrain in there, or the drive shafts in there. Still have to weather those, and the tires. Tires are not touched. I did add a little chain there to the back of the car there, where the fuel tank is. You just chained it up. It's just jeweler's chain, and then I rusted it up with some of my Tamiya weathering powders. I added in, I was going to add lattices in here, kind of like the old Mustangs had, those vents. I didn't like how it looked when I did that, so I just went with this grating all over each of the windows. I left a little bit of a window open right there, and on the others, on the driver's side, kind of like the smoker's window opened right there. But yeah, this is just mosquito netting. Actually, this is a repair kit. This is fiberglass, and I got the fiberglass just because it's easier to cut fiberglass as opposed to the metal stuff. But yeah, it's just this. Picked this up at Menards. Just a fiberglass repair kit. So there's adhesive on one side. All I did take that adhesive off is kind of soak it for a little bit in some alcohol. Just some isopropyl alcohol here. This is just 70 proof. I just soaked it in there, and I just used my fingers and I just kind of rubbed it off the remainder. But yeah, pretty easy to get the adhesive off of here. it's basically double-sided tape on these things. But yeah, that is what I used for that, and that is how I got the adhesive off. So now I'm just gonna grab a couple of stiff bristled brushes, grab my weathering powders, and just go to town, and I'm just gonna get in there and finish up. Oh, the other thing I did is I removed the fog lamps from the front end. I think it looks cooler without the fog lamps in there with those holes open. So I did that. Well, yeah. Otherwise, everything else is done. I just need to add details. So I'm going to go in, do that now, and I'll be back with the final reveal. Alright, guys. I got everything weathered up. Using my Tamiya weathering powders. I added a bunch of streaking, griming, rust, some rust to the cage. What I did is I took a little silver and I gave this kind of a silver wash, and then I went back in with a little bit of rust color to kind of make it look like the surface was starting to rust over. You can see it in here and in here. Put some more streaking on the hood, some grime and some streaking on the hood here, kind of to make it look. This light's a little too bright. Let's shut that off. There we go. You can see the streaks on the hood there. And I put streaks behind the engine too. It's really hard to tell you everything I did weather-wise because you just get going and start weathering, and you gotta stop, and you gotta know when to stop. That's the thing. On a project like this, though, you could just detail and weather and forever because this car's been on the desert or wherever for how long. So anything you do to it, it's gonna look as appropriate as you want it to. I got the tires all mudded up and dirtied up the old rims there. I basically took my weathering powder here, my mud. You can kind of see there's a big old dent in it. Because what I do is I put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on my brush, on a nice stiff brush, and I basically create a slurry or a wash, and then I just brush it into the tires and get it into those rims and the cracks and crevices and all over the place. Same thing on the bottom. I did that all weathered up. It's kind of the same way. And then I'd once that started to, the alcohol started to evaporate, I was left with a little, kind of basically puddle of mud. And so I took a bunch of that, almost like a slurry of it, put it on my brush, and then I went in and I created some thick mud. You can kind of see it up there, a little bit on the front. You can see it on the fender right here. So it all looks like caked in mud along here. I also brought some of it up, just brush stroked it up to look like it splashed on the driver's side door here. But yeah, you can see that nice caked in mud. There's some on the back side there too. And then on the other side here, same thing. Caked the mud. I brought it up the side of the vehicle there. Caked it on the back here pretty thick. See it right in there. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It turned out way better than I thought it would. You can still lift the hood too, and actually I'm kind of like how it looks with the hood up or off, but I haven't decided on that yet. You can still see inside through this netting. That's another reason I like the netting. I can see my little dog dish and my dog blanket. I can even see in the back seat there. The other thing I did that I really liked how it turned out, and actually this is probably my favorite thing here on the kit, and this is kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it there. I created a wash with some alcohol and some of this tulip here. Just a kind of a thin little wash. And I let it well, actually I used my brush and I pulled it on down the side, and I love that look. That look right there is exactly what evaporated or dried up fuel would look like on a vehicle. I love it. That's like my favorite part is this thing right here, is how that turned out to actually look like real dried gasoline or petrol or whatever he's got in here. It ran it all the way down the side. Yeah, a lot of fun. I want to thank Miguel again for custom creating these pipes here for my engine. This is his 632, but these pipes I didn't have available, so I talked with him and went over what I wanted, and he built these up. He built me several, and these are the ones I used. I love these ones. Actually, I built this push bar. I should probably put the push bar on the site, shouldn't I? It's not a bad push bar. You know, a little push bar. Probably put that on the site because that is whole cloth mine. And I hope Miguel will get some of these pipes on the site too, because those are really cool pipes. Again, he built a bunch of different kinds. Actually, he's working on a bunch of new headers that look really cool. I don't know if he's got them up or he's going to get those up soon. But yeah, I'm going to call this done. Done with our build here. But I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank all my old subs and my new subs. You guys are equally rad. And until next time, you guys, take care.